So, I guess just from looking at me, you could tell I'm a little biased. Hiya, welcome back, or a big hello if you're new. So I figured for today's video I would talk about something that like 99% of all furry YouTubers have discussed before, but I haven't. So why do people hate furries? Why does the general public seem to really have such a disdain for furries? I'm sure there's a million different answers for it, and I'm sure you can find some of the commenters on my TikTok, which I'm gonna plug right here. They will gladly tell you why they hate furries. But I'm here today to break down the basics and explain why you shouldn't hate furries as a whole. I'm obviously not saying you can't dislike a single furry because they're a furry. I'm saying that you shouldn't dislike someone solely because of their involvement in the fandom. So let's break down the main reasons people don't like furries. Starting with number one, the loud portrayal of the fandom in the media. So this is likely the most obvious point to make, and I did discuss this in my last video about Curtis Connor, which you could watch right here, which is just that most of the mainstream media that comes out about furries, especially the older stuff, is incredibly misleading and incredibly harmful. The most recent and deafening example being the litter box story. For those of you who are unfamiliar, lucky you, but there have been many false reports that some high schools have been installing litter boxes for furries who identify as animals to use at school. And what do you know? It's not true. But of course, like conservatives do, they take the fake story and they run to the hills with it. I'm not trying to be like outwardly political or anything. It's just, listen, I'm a gay trans man. What do you expect? Anyways, it got so bad that the high school that was said to be doing this were forced to issue a statement saying that no, obviously they weren't doing that because it's stupid. Now here's a little dose of reality for some non-furs. Furries don't think that we're animals. I know it's like a very common misconception, but I'm aware that I'm a human underneath this suit. I'm not denying that in any way, shape, or form. So for all of you who say, oh, furries think that they're animals, so therefore we should treat them like animals and they shouldn't have human rights. First of all, you should be treating animals nicely anyways. And second of all, we don't think that we're animals. I can't like state that enough. A majority of furries just appreciate animals a lot and use fursuiting as a hobby similar to cosplay, but with their own characters. Obviously, were this litter box story to be true, it would be incredibly unsanitary. But it isn't true, so really, who cares? I have seen kids wear collars or ears or tails to school, and like, you know what? You have every right to your opinion and think that it's cringe, but like, they're living their best life, so who really cares? It's not hurting you, it's not affecting you. No one's forcing you to stare at this kid with cat ears on, like, it's fine, it's not that big of a deal. So while a lot of people assume the worst about furries based on the last topic, there's also just a big misunderstanding and lack of communication between non-furs and furries, which is what our second topic is gonna be. So they see something bad about us in the media and then they make a conclusion based on that. So let's just clarify. By definition, you can Google this. I basically copied this definition word for word from Google. A furry is just someone who likes anthropomorphic animal characters or animal characters with human characteristics. There's nothing more or less to that definition on its own. I can assure you we are not all sex-crazed maniacs, think we're animals, or harass Dollar Tree employees. A majority of us really just like animals and like to dress up as them for fun. The way I like to put it is this: if you don't have a problem with cosplay, you shouldn't have a problem with furries. Now, I did mention something in the last topic that's going to be brought up into this topic, which is, of course, the bad minority. So this is the hardest for people to understand. Many people will hear about rainforests and think the whole fandom is into that. So let's address that. Yes, there are some furries who make their sexual activity public. Just to be absolutely clear, the fandom frowns upon those who bring anything sexual into a public space where minors could be around. We are well aware that minors should not be seeing these things, and those of us who are responsible adults keep it away from minors' eyes. And newsflash, a majority of the fandom are minors. I myself started out as a furry when I was like 9 or 10 years old. Now, we can't really address the sexual nature of furries without talking about the odd stuff. So I did plan on keeping this channel as family friendly as possible, but in a video about hating furries, I kinda have to address this. So if you don't want to listen to this, just skip to this time if you're under 18, or if you just don't want to hear about it. We'll also be discussing heavy topics such as animal abuse, so just keep that in mind. So, kinks. When I mentioned rain furs, you probably thought about diaper furs. Once again, loud minority. A majority of the fandom frowns upon those who bring this into public spaces and do unsanitary things around others who aren't consenting. Speaking of those who are unable to consent, a lot of people equate being a furry to being a zoophile. So let's be incredibly clear. A furry is someone who is an enthusiast for anthropomorphic animal characters. A zoophile is someone who sexually abuses feral animals. They are far from the same thing. Zoophilia is a crime, and it is disgusting and unthinkable to a majority of furries. Those who proudly call themselves zoophiles are awful people and are not welcome in our fandom and should be arrested. That's all I'll say. Now, even that put aside, a lot of people seem to think that furries that are into NSFW stuff involving anthropomorphic characters are zoophiles. So let's just kind of put it into a metaphor. So Markiplier made a smash or pass video on Pokemon. Pokemon are anthropomorphic animal characters, basically, aka furries. Sorry to break it to you guys, but Pokemon are furries. Get over it. If no one got mad at him for that, then you shouldn't really be mad at furry NSFW. Also, side note, I spent a lot of money on my costume. I don't know too many people who would want to risk getting bodily fluids on their fursuit, so like, trust me when I say not every furry is interested in doing furry NSFW. I promise you that. It's definitely a tricky topic, but like, as long as the characters have human characteristics, meaning that they walk on 2 feet and they're also consenting adults, I really don't see an issue with it. Whew, sorry to get dark there, but it is necessary in this video. I know it's literally my 3rd episode in and I'm already discussing this kind of stuff, but unfortunately when you're discussing the furry fandom as a whole, you have to address these certain things. So what did we learn today? There's a lot of misconceptions about furries, there's a lot of stuff that people don't know about furries, but the majority of the reason that people hate furries is because they don't know the definition of what a furry is. But yeah, furries, believe it or not, are just regular people. They just happen to like animals. Sure, they may show it in a different way than most people will, but I mean, people are different from each other. That's just how life works. You may think it's weird to dress up as an animal, and you know what? That's totally fine. That's your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. However, believe it or not, you're not entitled to make people feel bad about your opinion. There is literally no reason for you to go up to like a 15-year-old wearing wolf ears and just start mocking them for just doing what makes them happy. And while, yes, there is no law saying that you can't do that, you're just being a at that point. Do I think this video is going to solve all of the fandom's problems? No, I don't. Because I'm pretty sure that people are going to look at this and be like, why would I ever click on this video, and walk away? Maybe throw their computer into a ravine. But I mean, if I could even change one person's mind about furries, I feel like this video would have been worth it. I'm really just making this video to help anyone that wants to sort of show maybe their friends or their family something, to be like, hey, this is what furries are about. There you go. Like I said, even if I can just change one person's mind about furries, I think it'll be worth it. So yeah, sorry this video was so heavy. Whoops. Listen, the fandom's been around for a long time. There's been a lot of bad things that have happened. It's just what happens when you have such a big community. So yeah, I am once again getting out of this fursuit because it is very hot and I need a break. So I'm just gonna wrap it up right here. For anyone interested, I am going to A&E soon. So if you'd like to see me, I'm going to be wearing Poppy Stripe, who you can see in the last video, so you know what I look like. But yeah, it's going to be super fun, and I hope to see some of you there. I know I don't have that many subscribers, but I don't care. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Mwah.